All right, guys. Today I want to react to this press conference of Coach Taylor talking about, of course, what just happened, which was us cutting Collins. So this is the first press conference of him breaking down everything, talking about everything, answering questions. As always, I will have the questions on the screen, all the stuff of what the reporters are asking, increased audio for the reporters, increased audio for coach, and I will be stopping periodically through, giving my thoughts and opinions on everything that's said. Keep in mind, this video is only 5 minutes long. This press conference is a very short press conference today, so it's not going to be as much, detail he's going to release, but it is important to go listen up and, hear what is being said and kind of go on from there. Let's get it, boys.
First home game.
Did the extra time crop up anything injury-wise? Is everybody still good?
I think we're good. There might be a couple situations as we get through practice where guys are maybe limited, maybe full go, but I feel like we're in a really good spot going into this week.
I think the only guy going into this week who is not healthy is Joseph Asai. Because we cut Collins now, so he's no longer on the PUP list. Conklin is still obviously on, I think he's on IR, I believe. Joseph Asai is not healthy for this game. Last game, we didn't really have any major injuries, which is good. Yeah, so I guess just Joseph Asai.
Looking at this Ravens defense, what's so challenging about facing them?
They're smart. They got a lot of talent, first of all. I think they do a good job with their scheme. They're really smart. And then anytime you play a divisional opponent that knows you well and you know them well, that's always a chess match as well. So, again, they've done a good job investing in their front, with some draft picks on the edge. I think their interior is really good, I think Pierce and Matabuki have just continued to get better and better in their problems, and Broderick Washington in there. And so they got a good interior. Their linebackers are as good as any in the league. They've invested there as well. And then I think Kyle Hamilton's really coming to his own as a safety. I think he's a really good safety. They got really good guys, again, that they've drafted and developed, and all the Brandon Stevens and Darius Washington and all those guys. And obviously Darby's played a lot. I played against him in Buffalo years ago. So, and then they got things that they'll have a good way to at safety. They got some guys in there, Geno Stone, who's played ball for them. So I think it's a really good defense that causes you a lot of problems, and they can really disrupt the quarterback's timing, and they do a good job against the run game, and they do a good job mixing up their schemes.
One thing I will say I'm really actually, thankful for is Marlon Humphrey is not in this game. He had foot surgery, so he's going to be out for this game. Last week, we did see that Marcus Williams got hurt for them, so their free safety got hurt, so that's going to be another player who might not be in this game. Watkinson is still dealing with his injuries from training camp and preseason, so there's a lot of things going on here that we might not have to play this week against their defense. Now, again, it's an AFC North opponent, so it doesn't matter if they have, no one out there or everyone out there. They're still going to play us tough. They're still going to play very well. But I will say, overall-wise, it's nice the fact that we don't have to deal with, one of the best cornerbacks in the league in Marlon Humphreys. Now, they still have Roquan Smith. They still have Patrick Queen. They still have a really decent defensive line. So, it's a lot of things going on. And obviously, they still have Oweh, David Jabu, Justin, as he mentioned, Michael Pierce, Broderick Washington, etc. But at least we got something. At least we got something here.
The playoff game may be as good of a game as any defense had against you guys all year. Would you learn just from
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, I missed it.
The playoff game may be as good as any defense played against you guys all year. Would you learn kind of about your offense based on how you respond?
Well, we had 3 possessions in the first half. Scored a touchdown, kicked a field goal, and fumbled. So what it tells you is when you play them, the possessions are so precious, and so again, they've got an explosive offense. They really excel in the kicking game. Their kicker obviously is a huge weapon, and they got great returners as well. So they do a good job playing complementary football. They play to their strengths. They've always had a really sound defense, and they limit the explosives. They can create explosives with their offense with all the talent they got. And then in the kicking game, they always do a really good job. So those are some of the challenges. We've seen it a lot recently. We played them twice, in the last 3 games on our tape, their tape, I guess. So, they've always done a good job.
Zach, are you able to provide any insight into the decision yesterday to release Lyle Collins?
It's tough. There's never a great time. He worked really hard for us, and had a lot of respect for LC and the way he went about his business, and obviously gave us some really good snaps last year until the injury. Enjoyed being around LC, and he's one of those guys that just loves ball, and you enjoy being around him. So never a great time, but that's a tough one.
More business decisions, Zach? Or can you get into
You know, there's just what I can say is there's never a great time to do it, and it sucks when you ever tell a guy like that bye.
Does Deontay's development play into that decision at all?
I think Deontay had a good camp for us, and so again, as we continue to develop guys like Deontay and Jackson and those guys that can give us good tackle reps if needed, you know, we feel good about our depth there.
Do you see Ford as a tackle too? Zach?
He can play tackle. He can play both. You know, he can play guard. He's gotten reps at tackle. Again, another guy that we thought had a really good camp.
What you were talking about before with the divisional opponent, you know him so well. Is it when you're playing a team that has a new coordinator like you did last week and now again this week? Does it have a little bit more of an unpredictability where it doesn't quite feel like that full division?
I was thinking, did they change their D coordinator?
No,
you're talking about on offense, yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah, there's always that unknown there of things they got in their back pocket. You know, obviously with the guy coming from he's been in the NFL, but coming from college to the NFL is always, you know, as you sort it out. But I think our guys have done a good job coming through it and have a good plan in place. And then again, you just got to be ready to react as you go over the course of the game, especially early in the season.
I will say, just to reiterate the point here of what Coach said about the Ravens in the playoff game. Also, and this is a side note, we did have Eli Apple in that game give up like a 60-yard touchdown to Demarcus Robinson because he just simply could not cover him for some reason. He messed up the defense. So that was a free touchdown we gave up in that game. Well, yes, we didn't play great. It was very much a trap game. And the reason why I say that is because, again, we went to that game thinking, okay, well, there's no Lamar Jackson. This is going to be not an easy win, but going to be a win. We've dominated them clearly this year. We look good. We feel good. And, we thought everything was going to work out fine. And that's, trap game happens. We lose those type of games. It is what it is. I will still say I'm trusting the process on the whole of L. Collins cutting. It sucks. I really look back and I'm like, I don't see the purpose with the depth. But if you're going to argue, well, we need the money to sign players like T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, I think Tyler Boyd's probably going, but T. Higgins, Cheeto, DJ Reader, etc. I can get there and actually understand where someone's coming from. But it definitely sucks. I mean, there's no easy way to put that, losing depth at a position that last year literally is the reason why we ended our season, was not having that depth. It's really hard to argue against that.
That was easy.
Brian spoke about the offensive line's ability to make in-game adjustments week one. How impressive was that to see with week one, kind of being its own challenge?
Yeah, that's what you get from having a veteran group like we have. And even Cordell feels like a veteran in there in his second year. They see it. They immediately know what a good answer is. We're assessing it on the sidelines with the iPads as well, and usually come to a pretty quick conclusion. And so the communication is very easy with those guys.
How do you think you guys respond to the blitz, Zach? They blitzed a lot.
Who are you talking about?
The Browns.
The Browns. Okay.
How do you think you guys handled it? How do you think Joe?
I thought he handled it well. I mean, we were ID'd correctly. They hit us with one Fonzie at the end of the game, and then they got us in 5-man protection when Jake was in there. So those free runners weren't really the responsibility of guys we had in the protection. So I thought we were ID'd right. They've got a great front, and they got really good scheme behind it. So it prevents challenges, but I thought our guys responded the right way and handled it the right way.
Any other questions? All right.
Great.
Thanks, Zach.
It actually was a lot easier than I expected it to be. But, I mean, overall-wise, they're going to have more press conferences before this game anyway. But, yeah, no, overall-wise, going to this Ravens game again, it's not going to be an easy game in any stretch of imagination. But we're going to really just have to, as I said before, kind of treat Lamar Jackson this game like Cam Newton and how the Broncos did with Cam Newton in the Super Bowl, which is keep him in the pocket and make him beat you through the air. Now, of course, he does have new weapons. He has a new offensive coordinator, which helps him out immensely. But I think as long as we keep him, in contain and keep him from, doing crazy things, we should be able to win this game. Their defense has injuries, which should help us out immensely. It's another week for our offense to really get the chemistry down through, processes. Obviously, through that crappy performance we did week one. But it is what it is. And I think we can really bounce back into week 2 here, and we should be fine. We get done this game, and we win this game in the jungle, which again, another big thing is playing at home here. We win this game, then we get the Titans, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, and the Rams. Sorry, the Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks. Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals. Which should be very, very easy. Then we get our bye week. So, let's get it, boys. Who Dey Nation. Who Dey out. Peace out, guys.